Okay, let's have a test. How good and how nicely can you hear me? Can you see me? And eventually, it will be very interesting to see how we'll all run. So, in the meanwhile, I'm gonna enjoy some coffee. So today is usually uh, it's a typical day when I organize for all of my students and for usually uh, it's a typical day when I organize for all of my students and for all my friends online calls, and we have our own personal and chat and group and etc. But today I felt to share and to record on YouTube such a live stream as I don't have I don't have yet a habit of doing it. One thing, and second thing, last time when I was here and we did it, it was quite cool. So eventually, I will be happy to see if such format is interesting, and maybe we'll use it more often. So, in any case, anybody who will see the recording or watch this video, mm, may this be um not for you. And one of the things which I felt like sharing today, you know, it's something what just happened throughout this week as I had my birthday on Monday, and we started a wonderful celebration on Sunday, and eventually we went to a beautiful location in the nature where we organized an awesome villa and some wonderful journeys in the nature with beautiful beaches and sand and everything. And in life, every time when a birthday comes, it's a moment of self reflection. It's a moment when you kind of can sit down and look at yourself and your life and just understand how is it. Oh, just a second. Hmm. Hmm. I'm just right now thinking maybe I should wait at least for one person to join up and then to try. Eventually, maybe I'll make a separate video with asking everyone from which countries you come from. So kind of choose the time zone on which I could organize such streams. Maybe there truly will be such Sunday streams, and then everybody can synchronize to the time. And eventually, depending where the person is, can join up or leave a question. So uh, I will then continue sharing about the birthday. So it's a wonderful moment of self-reflection. Now, for me personally, I was very focused on writing and finishing my book about Amanita, and that's a very separate topic. And I feel that this book will, well, truly have a potential to change lives of the people who are willing to change their lives. It will hold many tools which will just be so easy. Just open the book, read the practice, or understand what you need. Like make an analysis of yourself, diagnose yourself, understand where's your strong points, weak points, what are the requests of your soul, what is your dharma and path of the soul in this reincarnation, and then eventually just work upon yourself. And I'm very satisfied right now with what I'm finally getting because this is actually, I think, the fifth or the sixth book which I'm right now doing and writing. Because every time when you reread your book, it's a moment of self reflection. So I can tell you my self reflection went out through this year quite profoundly by writing and working on the book. And I'm so super happy that now, while I was writing, I developed new skill sets, including connected with music. Or let's say I transformed all of my music experience into the creation of music, of which I'm super satisfied. Why? Because in the book that will be in the audio version, This I'm right now making in Russian, but it will be also in the English version that I'll make an audio book and put there my songs. So when you will be reading chapters, there will be also songs at the end of the chapters, which will bring specific strength, specific vibration, and wisdom from those chapters. Through that, you will be able to, well, when you need to remember, you can just simply go and enjoy the discovery um, of this vibration. You can simply go and discover, um, yeah, the vibration of your own personal truth. So, and the songs will really help to keep it. And that even in the beginning, if you're missing out something from, let's say, deep understanding, well, just practice. Practice will give you experience. The experience will give you conclusions, and the conclusions will give you wisdom and those things which you can implement into your life and practice. So it's a practical book, yet it's with philosophy, as philosophy is that key component which help us to develop an let's say wide consciousness of perception, and yeah, it's fundamental. Why? Because depending how you look on life and understand your connection with this world and with God, you already develop the rest. You develop your values, you develop eventually your patterns of behavior and attitude towards the world and people, towards life and death. And by knowing, let's say, by going to the essence of our soul and our spirit, it becomes very simple to be yourself and truly to rely on that one united truth inside of us, which is the connection with the Great Spirit through our soul. And that's why all of us inside, we know the truth. Sometimes we're put in different situations and obstacles where we're being tested. And the only people or who, let's say, are organizing these tests for us is just ourselves. So all of us are experiencing in our life that we have created, and that is karma. Karma, it's a reflection of actions. When you act, it will lead you to certain results. It will lead you to certain realities. So the more deeper and more harmony you walk with your inner soul, the less karma you'll create, and the more easier life will open up. So this book also has this type of knowledge. It has also the knowledge about how karma works. For example, for me, it took more than, whew, I would say 12, 15 years to understand such basic things about karma. But I read the Veda books, but I don't know, I just kind of missed it out. And it took me so many, I would say, not mistakes, but the misconception which brought me in sharing a lot of my spiritual energy with my close ones and friends and people around my country. I come from Estonia, and as I work in the public field, including diplomacy, I was investing a lot of my, including spiritual energy, into this, in trying to help everyone. And you know, the funny thing that nobody explained me back then, that if nobody asking you for help, don't help, even if the person is in very deep problems. Why? Because simply each one of us came here into this world to experience our personal own life, our personal experience. I don't know for which experience you came here for, and you don't know for which experience I came here for, but we can definitely feel for and discover for which reason I personally came to this world. And this is exactly that what provides the biggest path of freedom. And eventually, karma, uh, when you don't respect yourself, when you're not in harmony with yourself, then it's very hard for us to observe other people like in simply living the life what they are creating. What does it mean? If you went through pain and then in the future you meet a person who goes through pain, now, if you have a trauma of being a savior, then you will have a feeling that you would like to help a person, not to feel bad, yeah, not to go through that negative experience, or not to break his leg, or to fall down into that hole of dirt or something worse. But that's our own, let's say, vibration. We worry, and of our worrying, we actually worry not for the other person, but we actually feel worrying inside when we observe them, because that experience, it reminds us of our path. So if we still have pain inside of us, which is suppressed and is not worked through and is not acknowledged, then very often by opening your powers and spiritual powers, you will like to help everybody around without even a clear understanding on how to do it. And that is what creates a lot of negative karma for that spiritual practitioner or for any person who's using his powers for the benefit of all without request. If somebody asks you, that's one thing. But if nobody asks you for help, that's another thing. Hello, James. Yes, hope all is okay this beautiful morning. Thank you very much. Peace and love and light to you, dear brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for joining up. So I'm sharing that I just had my birthday this week on Monday, and one of the goals and aims which I had throughout, let's say, the cycle is to, with quality, finish my book about Amanita Muscaria and spirituality. And I'm very happy to say that I'm 99% ready with the Russian version. After the stream, I'll go for, you can say, my final edit, and I will launch the process of making an audio book. And which means after that comes the English version. And I have so many friends around the world waiting for this book. And I can tell you sincerely that I literally created this book based on my own experience. And I try to make the book very practical, very focused, that any person who wants to transform or understands him herself better, or to understand how to understand the path of the soul, to understand what rises from the inside, how come it rises, and how to transform it. It's a book that is structured in a very practical, philosophical way, and at the same time, it has a lot of cool stories from real life. And yeah, and eventually, for me, I'm very happy about it. And the topic of the karma, which I'm sharing, it's also one of the wisdoms inside of it. Um, I'll share you even such a interesting confession that when I wrote the very first book, it took me like 1.5, 2 months. Not because, no, I already have the experience, but writing a book, oh man, that's such a deep self reflection. Because once I finished it, the first version of the book, I wanted to put kind of my soul into awakening. So that when you read the book, you become kind of strong, awakening, and you want to. And then when I reread it in 1.5 months, I thought, Vadim, I'm so grateful for you that you didn't post it. I'm so grateful that you're not in a rush and you put it aside and looked at it freshly from a new point. Why? Simply because you start to see yourself from the side, and this aspect that there's our inner essence, and there's also our kind of sub personalities or certain programs, which we don't notice so much. But when we're speaking or when we're writing, especially, they come out and you can see. So eventually, the very first version of the book, it was super awakening. It's like when you read this book, you just like then you just kind of want to be awake and you want to kind of fight, I would say, but you don't understand with what to fight. and and then I understood that it's not about making people awake, but it's actually about sharing the love, because awakening happens, I'll explain like this. It's not hard to awaken a person to see, like what is happening out uh, around him, and about the kind of code of his enslavement inside. But what's next, you know To awaken, it's one thing, but what do we do when a person has become an awake? What do we do when we see around all that we start to see when we take off the pink glasses? What do we do when we start to see all of the betrayal of our own soul inside? Of course, it's not pleasant. So, for that reason, it's super important to have love, because love, it's something what helps us to not only transform, but it helps everything. When you awaken in love, it's beautiful. When you're healing in love, it's beautiful. Even when you're going through and you went through something deep and painful, and you make it, give yourself the love, it heals. So, in other words, the next moments of my rewriting the book, I was adding a lot of more elements which will would give each one of us who will be reading the book the confidence of perfect personal perfection. So it's very valuable to remember that we came here perfect. We don't have sins when we come here. We're already born in perfection with the connection with God and Spirit. And just by listening to people around, they make us make believe that we're sinful, we're not perfect, we're not this, we're not that. Well, I can tell you that everything around us is God and Spirit. And what is perfection for God? Maybe that's not perfection for a human mind. And maybe we shouldn't play the judgment of God of what is perfect. But one thing for sure, if you follow the spiritual path and until the end, the Great Spirit will show you in what a perfect balance everything lies. Even though for the mind it might look chaos, it might look unfair, it might look that and this, but eventually everything, like in a very good computer game with awesome game developers, everything is in balance. So uh, this was one of the things which I wanted to share. And another thing, not only about that the book is coming out, I'll make some videos in the future about it. As I had my birthday, I want to share with you a very cool insight which I got. And it came so unexpected and so beautiful. Like I would say 20, 15, 10, 5 years ago, I sincerely wanted to have to create like a community, when you have a birthday, then you would celebrate it all together. With your close ones, but that the birthday organization that you have such friends which would organize the birthday for you. And for that, I invested so much time and energy in my country back like 10 years ago in trying to develop this like atmosphere. But eventually, um, it was a big investment of time and energy, and I wouldn't say that it brought many outputs back. Um, and now I'm so happy that throughout this, let's say, 5 years has changed so much that I'm in such a good connection with myself, and I have such filtered out so many people that I have around me truly friends and souls with my values and vibration who I don't have to explain things. They understand in the very same deep way. So while I was editing the book, my friend's like, Vadim, will you organize the birthday? I'm like, well, yeah, I would love to see you all, but I really want to, no, like for me, the focus to finish the book. And then my friend Gunter's like, Vadim, I'll organize everything for you. Just tell me, what do you want? Just tell the date, which food, and how many guests, and that's it. Like, okay. At first, this being shy and don't want to like put responsibility on other people and blah, blah, blah. And then I understand, man, this is what I was always wanting. This is what I was always kind of dreaming, the aspect that you would have around yourself friends and people who would feel you, who would support you, and who would want to help you in a, such a sincere way. And for me, this like gesture and the way how the celebration of the birthday went, and we had multiple in different places, all of this was organized thanks to my friends. And this aspect that you have around yourself, this kind of support and protection, this is something which I wasn't even aiming at, but I was aiming at it long time ago, but I already forgot about it. And here it is. Here it is, that final birthday where you have friends with your own vibration, of friends and people around you who want to take care of you, not in words but in actions, with who you feel easy and kind of protected, and and everybody supports each other in a natural way. It's not pushed. It's not something what you know. It just like flows with the natural flow of love, and this made me feel so great because that's kind of like an achievement. This is called what I call harmony. When you're really in harmony with yourself, you're in harmony with your world and your close ones, and this is just awesome. I really want to sincerely wish everyone to come to such a state of kind of interconnection with your soul and love and, support with yourself and everything what you do. That the people around you, that you would have the right people around you, and that you would have with the same values, and that the support and connection and friendship would work out easy. Of course, there will be interesting stories, but when you have the right people next to you, you can overcome everything with an ease. So, yeah, this is a little bit of story sharing from me. Maybe there's any questions that you would like me also to touch today at the spontaneous live stream. Oops. Hmm. Yeah, and if there's no questions, um, I'll then maybe share one more thing, and yeah, and eventually I'll close the stream. This is such a small test, and maybe mm, I'll have a look that we would make it some more traditionally on Sundays. I will come out every Sunday for like half an hour. Everybody who wants to have a talk or a chat or wants to share some questions or stories, we can we can do it because eventually I'm looking forward step by step uh, to develop the channel and to share more information with everybody who wants to go for their personal transformation and spiritual development. And of course, how to work with the soul and Amanita Muscaria. So, maybe for today, one of the wisdoms which I will share is the essence always lies inside of you. If you have any situation in your life, always remember it's a reflection of your own relationship with yourself and with your soul. Your mind will try to hide it in many forms and ways and explain you that this is the fault of the people, of the system, of friends, I don't know, of parents, of partners, of everybody around is the fault. But try to guess who created all of this. Ta-da! Of course, you. So, and that's why when at any hard situation and any beautiful situation, you should keep the focus on yourself. And also, when you something happens in life, always remember to give yourself the gratitude. Because if you won't be grateful what you're creating, what you have achieved, and you won't notice those gifts which happen around, like I shared today, such gifts of life. Uh, we're often are stuck in the flow of reality and we don't see how our requests are actually have been manifested by our actions includingly, because the moment we ask our request and the moment we experience them, it can take time. And to the moment when you will be already experiencing it, you're going to have already maybe 5, 10 more new ideas and visions what you want to have in life. And this makes people forget and not see their powers of own creation in this reality. That the manifestation through our consciousness, soul, and spirit and energy, it always come here to be and to see and to remember it. This is what helps to lead a diary, or this is what helps you to see your life, to understand every situation that is playing out in your reality, in the past, in the present, in the future, it all happens because of you. And if you don't yet understand how come you're having this or those situations, it just means that you're analyzing most probably the outer world. You're analyzing people, you're analyzing science, you're analyzing politics, you're analyzing that, but you're forgetting that all of this, first of all, is created here inside of your head. Your perception, your own inner state, this is what creates the illusion around the outer world. So, what is the point and meaning analyzing the reflection in the mirror when we can focus on that what creates originally? Yeah, the reflection in the mirror. So, should we focus on the mirror to change the reflection or on the one that creates it? And this is in life that wisdom which takes usually many years and time to understand. And this is one of those simple things, but which I wish I want to gift you for today, everybody who joined up for the stream or will be watching. That the main essence, if you're struggling in life, pay attention in your soul. Look which struggles you're right now going through inside of your own body, between your mind and your soul, or your consciousness and your soul. Understand your feelings, follow them. If you don't understand what's rising, well, focus on them and make them stronger, make them rise up, make them come up. Don't suppress. On the opposite, bring them out and see what is there. And you'll definitely find a reasonable, beautiful, and wise explanation for yourself not to worry or how to look differently on the past situation and find those words of comfort which are important to hear for our inner thoughts. So, thank you very much, all of you, for joining. I see right now there were 5 people online. So, for maybe a final question, can you please share from which countries you come from, dears? As for the future, this will help me to understand maybe which time I should organize the Sunday stream. Whew. Thank you, brother. I can tell you by living in Estonia, that was one of my childhood dreams. You know, what I always wished. My birthday is like 10th of November. So I was always very jealous of all of my friends who had their birthday during the summertime. And when they had the summertime, I was just dreaming, thinking how awesome it is that you can just take your friends and go to the nature and just like celebrate. It's just so cool. So, and this was also one of the acknowledgments, like how freaking awesome it is that my like childhood dream is like fulfilling. I live on a tropical island, like literally. pff, If you saw the film The Beach with DiCaprio, the first part of the story, real story, second part, fiction. But yeah, that it's summer. I can take my friends. We can go for a party to a jungle, swim in the ocean, and just to enjoy this beautiful celebration and warmth. So, my brother, I'm passing you uh, that magical essence of knowing that you can also do it. So, just know in winter times, it's very good to travel to Asia. Estonia, it's wonderful, especially in summertime, but for autumn, winter, and maybe beginning of spring, Asia is wonderful. So, may you also have the opportunity to enjoy the cold winter nights on tropical, beautiful Asian islands. Well, my dears, I then want to thank all of you for so spontaneously just joining for the video. I believe and feel this will be a very special year ahead, and I think the streams will continue to grow. And much looking forward to finish my book, make English translation to share and to gather some interesting feedbacks. And yes, and I'll have to make some new music also for my English album, and I'm much looking forward to that part. One of the things what I discovered throughout this year cycle, I love to make music. I really can just disappear making music for like many hours, and I really don't notice how time flows. So know yourself, be yourself. That's your strength. There lies your where lies your passion is lying your essence of your soul and your path here. So follow where it's easy, where you feel happy, and life will support you in that. Namaste, my dears, and always in touch. See you in the next videos or live stream. And thank you for joining up. Sur Aita.